I never actually realized how boring my life was until you guys asked me to do a story for you guys. I mean, I have had some interesting points in my life, but none that could be explained or are interesting enough to be put on a YouTube commentary. I mean, there are, like I said, I have had the experiences, but they wouldn't entertain you. And I know it might seem like I don't go out much. To be honest, when I was younger, I never used to go out much. I go out more now than I did, which kind of makes sense because, you know, I'm older and stuff. But I really have no interesting experiences. I mean, I have stories that might be able to be told at parties when I'm like 400 years old, and I just see people that I remember, and I say, "Oh, remember the time when?" Sorry, be like, "Oh, remember the time when?" Or I'll be able to, like, you know, when you have those people that tell jokes and all the, not to be racist here, but all the let's say old or middle-aged white guys be like with their beers in one hand and a cigarette in the other. I'm stereotyping. I'm gonna stop. But I have stories. There's a story of how I could say almost died, maybe. I don't know if it counts or not. That's really embarrassing. I don't want to say that. And then there's one where when I was 13, and I got, let's call it my first puberty test. Could you call it that? I don't know. It's not like, it's nothing. It's not as bad as it sounds. But how about this? I'm gonna, in the description, whilst I'm gonna do this commentary, in the description I'm gonna put on how many stories I have, but I'm gonna put them as numbers, and I'm gonna remember the story to each number, and the number that you guys comment the most will be the story I talk about in each commentary. But it might mean that the commentaries are either really short, or it's just a story I put at the end just to close the thing out. So because you guys seem to really want stories, but the comment that I think it was Mr. I Afro, the comment he put was great, that you guys should tell me your stories, and either I read them out, or we jump into a Skype call and you tell the story, and then at the end of the month, this bit was my idea. At the end of the month, so if we start this in March, I'll just fill up till then. If you start this in March, at the end of the month, the rest of you guys then vote on which story you think was the best, and then they get some sort of prize that can make them feel comfortable with themselves. So until I get a more interesting life, I can't really see me telling you guys any stories. I guess some people were looking forward to it, I suppose, I'm not sure, because you guys just stopped commenting. As soon as that one crisis video shot up in views for some reason. I think it's just because I named it Crisis Free Beta Gameplay, but I checked on, I think it was Wednesday, and it had about like 30 views. I was like, ah, that's cool. And I check again on Thursday, and it just goes up to 72. And then I check again on Friday, and it's on 90. And I'm just waiting for it to pass 100, but I don't think it will. But I guess that's what happens when you just do the right thing at the right time, I guess. So just advertising Crisis a few days after the beta comes out means that, yeah. So, story. I don't know which one to say, to be honest. Let's start with, I don't even think I have time for it. Let's start with the one where I nearly died. I can fit that in about a minute. Alright, so basically, I was on the train I was waiting for the train on the way back from paintballing. I think this was my 14th birthday. And we were waiting at the train station, and we saw our train, like it was going off. So then I put my foot in the door, and as I do that, I think it will stop the door from closing. As I do that, the door closes, and then normally when the door closes, it opens back up again. But because this one was at the tip of my shoe where my feet weren't there, it just kind of closed through. And then the train started moving. So there's me with the tip of my shoe stuck in the train, and the train slowly progressing, coming to the edge of the platform. And I'm pissing myself right here. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. So I was tempted to just take off my shoe, but those were nice Jordans. They were shiny, nice Jordans. I like those shoes. So me being the dumb idiot that I was, I kept my foot in my shoe, and the train kind of dragged me along a bit, and it was getting very incredibly close to the end of the platform. And then for some reason, as soon as it gets close to the edge, that's when the driver decides that, you know what, I think the door's not closed properly. So he stops the train and opens the doors. And I never took out my foot so quickly in my life. As soon as there was at least a fraction of space from my shoe, and I thought it was gone. I thought it was out of there. And I just, everyone was looking at me like, oh my god, is he okay? And see, it wasn't a very interesting story, was it? This is my life, people. This is the sort of life I live, and this is the sort of life that you guys are gonna come to have to enjoy. Wow.